Greetings, brothers. There are rituals written in words, and there are rituals written in flame. The Soulforge is the latter. Few speak of it openly, for it is not a ceremony of pageantry, nor of glory. It is the quiet crucible in which a salamander is made whole again or broken forever. It is our holiest mystery, the bridge between the mortal and the eternal, the echo of the Father's own forge. I have seen it only once, and I have never been the same. To understand the Soulforge, you must first understand what we are. We are not mere warriors of the Adeptus Astartes. We are sons of Nocturne, born in fire, remade in its image. Our bodies are steel, but our spirits must be tempered. And there are times when war shatters that tempering, when grief, failure, or guilt warp the soul as heat warps unguarded metal. It is then that a brother is taken to the Soulforge. It is not punishment, it is rebirth. Within that place, the brother confronts the flames not as weapons, but as mirrors. The fire shows him who he truly is, stripped of armor, stripped of pride, stripped of the masks of duty and rank. Only what endures in the heat may call itself Salamander. Thus the ritual begins, with silence, heat, and the knowledge that not every man who enters will emerge. Beneath the fortress monastery of Hesiod lies a chamber few have seen, carved directly into the volcanic rock. The air there is heavy, thick with the scent of metal and burning oil. No torches burn. The walls themselves glow faintly, as if the mountain's veins have been drawn open to the air. At the center rests a single anvil of obsidian, older than the chapter's founding. Some say it was hewn by Vulcan himself. Upon it are carved 9 lines, one for each of the Father's sacred relics, and a 10th that remains unmarked, waiting. The brother brought to this chamber comes alone. No chaplain, no apothecary, no kin. He carries only his broken weapon or shattered relic, the thing that failed him or that he failed. He kneels before the anvil. The forge priests seal the doors, and then the heat rises. It is said that the temperature climbs until even ceramite would melt, yet the brother does not burn. The fire does not seek to destroy him, it seeks what lies beneath. There, in that chamber, the spirit is melted down, its impurities brought to the surface. The heat burns away lies, excuses, fears, until nothing remains but the raw essence of the man. It is agony. It is revelation. It is the moment when the forge looks upon the metal and decides whether it can still be shaped. There are whispers among the forge serfs that those who undergo the Soulforge hear voices. Some say it is the voice of the mountain. Others say it is the echo of the ghost of Deathfire. But the brothers who have endured it, those few who return, speak differently. They say the fire speaks in the Father's tone. I do not mean words that can be heard with the ear. I mean the language of the soul, the deep resonance that once guided the hands of the first forge masters. It is the same language that shapes molten iron into blade and sinner into saint. The flame says not what you are, but what remains of you. In those moments, visions come unbidden. A warrior sees the faces of the innocent he failed to save, the comrades lost by his hand, the worlds he could not protect. Each vision burns until the brother can endure no more. If his heart breaks, the fire cools. He is cast out alive, but hollow. If he endures, the fire shapes him anew. When he emerges, the chaplains say his soul burns with a steadier light. His eyes hold the same glow as the forge itself, a calm, enduring fire. Such a brother is said to have been recast by the Father's hand. Each brother who completes the ritual is given the same gift, a hammer. not a weapon of war, but of remembrance. Its head is forged from the very anvil that bore his trial, its haft wrapped in the cloth of his old armor. He is told, strike not to destroy, but to remember. That hammer becomes his companion in the forge, and sometimes upon the field. Not to kill, but to remind him that every act of creation carries the weight of destruction, and that only the worthy may wield both without losing themselves. Over centuries, these hammers have multiplied, each bearing the marks of its bearer's soul. No two sing the same when they strike metal. Some ring like bells, others whisper like distant storms. Each is the echo of a life reforged. The halls of the Reclusium keep them lined along the walls, resting until their owners return to the flame. I have walked those halls in silence, feeling the air tremble with the memory of their songs. Sometimes, when the chapter suffers great loss, the forges tremble and one of the hammers falls from the wall on its own. The priests say it is a sign that a brother's fire has joined the father's once more. The Soulforge does not end with the flame. It ends with the ash. After the heat, after the hammering of spirit and steel, comes the long silence. The brother who has endured is not permitted to rise immediately. He must sit within the chamber as the fires die around him. The glow fades. The air grows heavy with falling soot. The world is nothing but darkness and drifting cinders. Here begins the test of ash, the truest part of the ritual. For it is one thing to withstand agony, and another entirely to endure emptiness. The forge burns bright and terrible, but it is the ash that asks the hardest question. What will you do when the fire is gone? Many of us live by the light of war, the fire of purpose, of command, of vengeance. Yet when those flames dim, when the world grows quiet, a warrior must face himself. Does he live for the fire alone, or for what it builds? The brother must remain seated until the first dawn light filters through the cracks in the forge gate. No words, no movement, no aid. His breath stirs the dust of his own unmaking. If his heart remains true, if the ember within refuses to die, the ash takes shape. When the forged priests return, they find his hand cupped, holding a single coal that yet glows with hidden light. It is not large. It could be mistaken for a common ember, but to us, it is the sign that the spirit endures. That coal is set within the head of his hammer, forever burning but never consuming. A fragment of the Soulforge, a shard of the Father's mercy. Thus the ritual is sealed. To survive the Soulforge is to live with its mark forever. The brothers who return are changed, not by mutation or miracle, but by a quiet gravity. Their movements grow slower, more deliberate. Their words carry weight, as though every syllable must be forged upon the anvil of thought. They are known among us as the Reforged. Not all take the same path after. Some withdraw into the forges, dedicating themselves entirely to the craft, as if fearing to break the calm they have found. Others seek the front lines, their flames burning steadier than ever before. They no longer rage, they radiate, and yet, all share the same gaze. When you look into their eyes, you see no reflection of the battlefield, only the glow of something deeper, the memory of standing before the fire and hearing it speak. It is said that when a reforged brother dies, his coal dims but does not fade. When gathered together, these coals hum in unison, a low harmony that fills the forge with living warmth. The priests keep them beneath the chapter altar, feeding their glow with oil from the volcano's heart. We do not worship these relics. We remember through them, for they remind us that even the broken can burn again. The Soulforge does not create perfection. It creates endurance. And endurance, brothers, is the truest flame. There are theories spoken only in whispers within the deepest vaults that the Soulforge is not merely symbolic. Some claim that beneath Mount Deathfire, The molten core itself is alive in ways mortal minds cannot grasp. That it remembers, that it chooses. Perhaps it is so. Perhaps not. But I have felt the fire answer when I spoke its name. I have seen shapes move within the light that no human eye should perceive. The priests say that the flame is not a servant, but a teacher. That it does not burn at random, but with purpose. During one Soulforge ritual, long before my time, it is said the flame rose higher than ever before, reaching the ceiling, wrapping the brother entirely. When the forge cooled, he was gone. No trace, no ash, no armor. Only his hammer remained, glowing faintly, its surface marked by patterns none could replicate. The Forge Masters tried to read the symbols, but the lines shifted when touched by mortal hand. They began to whisper of the flame that thinks a living aspect of the Father's Forge, a consciousness bound to the molten core of Nocturne itself. To this day, no one knows whether the Soulforge awakens this presence, or whether it is the presence. But when the Forge is raw during the deepest nights, and the chapter's hearts burn with purpose, I sometimes feel that the flame watches back. And in that gaze, there is no malice, only judgment and love. After a brother endures the Soulforge, his first act is never battle. It is pilgrimage. The Reforged are commanded to walk the volcanic plains of Nocturne alone for 7 days and nights, bearing only their hammer and the ember within it. The world beyond the forges is a place of extremes, where glass plains shimmer from ancient eruptions, and rivers of half-frozen magma wind through black rock like veins of molten blood. It is there that the brother learns humility anew. He sees the villages of the simple folk, the artisans and miners, the smiths and farmers, those whom we exist to protect. He walks among them silently, neither heralded nor recognized, a giant among mortals. They see his armor blackened by ritual, his face lined with ash, and they do not speak. They only bow their heads and leave food and water by the wayside. In those quiet moments, the brother remembers why we fight, not for conquest, not for pride, but for them. For those who carry fire in fragile hands and still share it freely. When the 7th night falls, the brother reaches the shores of the Sea of Fire, where the waves glow with faint inner light. There he kneels, lowers his hammer into the molten surf, and recites the oath of the Reforged. Father of Flame, who tempered the stars, strike me again, that I may ring true. Burn away what falters, that I may stand unbroken. I am not the weapon. I am the hand that holds it. Only when the dawn rises does he return to the chapter. His armor gleams again, not with gold or polish, but with the sheen of renewed purpose. He is not the same man who entered the mountain. He is more. He is whole. In time, every brother's flame must fade. Even those reforged in the deepest fires eventually meet the stillness of death. When such a brother falls, his hammer is brought back to the Soulforge. The priests unseal the coal that burned within and lay it upon the anvil once more. As the flames rise around it, the ember flares brightly, as if remembering its origin. For a single instant, the chamber fills with a whisper, a tone so soft that even the most augmented ear cannot capture it fully. Some call it the brother's soul, bidding farewell. Others call it the forge's welcome. That coal is never extinguished. It joins the others beneath the altar, beneath the mountain, feeding the eternal flame that burns unseen but ever present. It is said that when enough of those embers gather, their combined glow will light a path for Vulcan himself, guiding him home across the void. And so the cycle continues, the forge consuming, The forge creating. Brothers lost, brothers reborn. The chain unbroken since the days of the Father. When I stand in the forge at night, surrounded by the hum of the hammers, I can almost feel them there. The reforged, the fallen, the forgotten, shaping my thoughts, guiding my hands. Their strength flows through every blow of my hammer, every spark of my torch. In that communion, I know, the Soulforge is not merely a place, it is us. It is the sum of every life that has faced the flame and endured. And while even a single ember burns, the Salamanders shall never fall to darkness. Brothers, we are not defined by our armor, nor by the wars we wage. We are defined by what we endure and what we create from that endurance. The Soulforge is not a legend meant to awe or frighten. It is a mirror, showing us what we already are. Each of us will one day face our own fire, doubt, loss, failure, guilt. When that moment comes, remember the lesson of the Forge. Do not flee the heat. Step into it, for it is only within the flame that the truth is revealed. The fire does not lie. It does not flatter. It does not forget. But it can forgive if we let it. When you take up your hammer, when you temper the metal and see your reflection in the molten glow, know that you are participating in the oldest prayer of our kind. Every strike is a vow. Every spark is a reminder. We are the flame that builds. We are the hand that shapes. We are the will that endures. So let the galaxy rage. Let the night fall. We will not falter. For the fire is within us, and we carry the Father's light wherever we walk. And when the forge calls your name, when the doors seal, the heat rises, and you stand alone before the anvil, remember this, brothers. The fire is not your enemy. It is your reflection. Face it without fear, and you will emerge reforged. Until we speak again, brothers, keep the flame burning, guard the weak, endure the fire.